Citigroup announced this morning that it will repay $20 billion of the TARP bailout money it received. Joining us now is Bill Cohan. He is a former investment banker, author of House of Cards, a Bloomberg contributing editor, a Renaissance man. That's what we call you, Bill, when you're not here.
Right. Well, just back from the Renaissance, one of the places where the Renaissance blossomed.
Certainly, from Vienna, and making us cry with chocolate envy. So what do you make of Citigroup? I mean, I'm just reading some comments here coming through from Ken Feinberg, obviously the paymaster, even though he doesn't like to be called that, saying he's confident the government wouldn't let Citigroup repay the TARP funds if it weren't strong enough. So is this a vote of confidence?
Well, I think it's a vote of confidence, but don't forget, it's only half or less than half of what Citigroup owes us all, and I think it's an indication of the realities of Citigroup's situation at the moment. Had they not taken a step like this, then they would have had the scarlet letter sort of continuing to dangle around their neck, and that's going to make it very difficult. But would the government
really have cared about that? I mean, it seems like Obama's...
No, the government wouldn't have cared. No, but they cared. They cared, and they cared tremendously because of all their competitors have paid back the TARP money, and they're free to pay all their people what they want and recruit heavily from other firms. Then they want to be able to say they can do the same thing, even though it's not quite there yet.
But would the government not have cared, given the fact that the government is representative of us, the taxpayers, and the taxpayers are the ones who are going to who are going to gain, rather, or lose, depending on how competitive Citigroup can be? We know that it's not free of TARP for 2009. This is only going to apply to 2010.
Right, and Erik, you're absolutely right. I mean, we want them, Citigroup, to be able to get the best and the brightest people. We want them to be able to pay their people competitively because we own a big chunk of them. So ironically, if they can't compete in the marketplace, we as taxpayers lose out. So it's in our interest to let them do this as well.
What do you think? I'm going to cite some comments here from the head of the American Bankers Association saying bankers are getting mixed messages from Congress, from government, from regulators. You know, they're being encouraged to take a look at these second look programs. That is to say, a small business initially rejected from a loan. They're kind of getting pressure to take a second look, but they're saying, look, there's also tons of parlance about not loaning. So what do we do?
Deirdre, I think it's a very fair point and a very fair observation because don't forget, bad loans got us into this mess. So now the government is saying, you know, you got to lend again. You got to continue to push down loans to people who can't get them, which of course is true. So it's a question of, it is mixed messages, but instead of saying, no, there's no credit available, let's use our interest rates, what we charge for the capital, to, you know, delegate who gets capital and who doesn't, which is the way the system's supposed to work. Let's use interest rates to do that.
But is it credit decisions or that is restraining the amount of lending to small business, or is it perhaps capital requirements, or is it just a reluctance on the part of banks to increase the size of their balance sheets?
Erik, it's usual, all of the above, right? I mean, it's a reluctance to go down the path of bad loans that got them into trouble. You know, the pendulum swings too far in one direction, now it's too far in the other direction. But I think you can charge the right amount for credit and get it down to the businesses that need it.
We only have about 30 seconds left. How does this make Vikram Pandit look?
Well, I think it's an improvement for Vikram. Vikram's got a tough road to hoe. I think it was an important step. He pushed for it. He got it. He convinced the government he could do it. But, you know, Citigroup is still, you know, a little bit of a wounded animal, and it's in our interest to help them. So I'm glad they're doing it.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. That is Bill Cohan, author, former investment banker, Bloomberg contributing editor on the Citigroup story.